did make semi-responsible choices by putting a few back, but I still bought a few. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Very excited to be filming my second video, and today this will be especially exciting for all you bookish people because we have a Waterstones book haul. If you were like me, the first week that the lockdown restrictions lifted slightly, I think it was a Monday, and I worked Monday to Friday and I just couldn't get to town. So Saturday we made sure we got to Waterstones, and let me tell you something, it was so nice to walk into the store and just see all the books. It was a great time. I didn't really intend on buying any books when I went in, but I got a little book happy the first time, and I bought 5 books that time, and I just went the weekend just gone, and also I didn't intend to buy any books and walked out with 2 still. So I have actually already shared these books on my Instagram, but I just thought it would be fun to film a video. Is it really a book haul for me if I'm not picking up any fantasy fiction? I don't think so. I picked up A Vow So Bold and Deadly by Bridget Kemmerer. Sort of a funny story. I actually have A Curse So Dark and Lonely on my TBR pile. I haven't actually read it yet. I do this weird thing with fantasy books, particularly fantasy series. I just go in blind, really. I don't look into what the story's about. I just see what the general consensus is on Bookstagram and look at the ratings on Google, see how it went down, and I'll think, yeah, I'll give that a go. I felt like this series, I had to give it a go. I've got the first book. This is the 3rd book. I need to get the 2nd book. The first time I went to Waterstones, I mentally knew what was on my wish list. So every book that I physically saw that was on my wish list, I was like, well, I might as well get it while I'm here. This one stuck out like a sore thumb because if you've seen this series, you'll know the spines are just gorgeous. And I just couldn't resist this. I don't want to read the blurb for this book because I haven't read the first book yet, so I can't actually share any info about that. Check out the series if you want. I'll try and find a link to it below if you would like to read more about it. But that was book number 1. The next book I got was called British, and it's a book on race, identity and belonging. This is by Afua Hirsch. This has been on my wish list for almost a year, I think. When I saw it in person, I just had to get it. I'm really enjoying reading more about race in Britain, learning about people's experiences and learning more about the country, our history and things that have gone down. It's such an important thing to learn, and I feel like it's my responsibility to be proactive to find this information, because I can't just ignore all the resources that are available to me literally at my fingertips. I am really looking forward to reading this one. I will read the blurb. You're British, your parents are British, your partner, your children and most of your friends are British. So why do people keep asking where you're from? We are a nation in denial about our imperial past and the racism that plagues our present. Whenever I read books like this personally, I am able to reflect upon my own experiences growing up. I haven't particularly experienced racism now that I'm an adult, but it was rife when I was a kid. I experienced racism from strangers, from people I knew, people I thought were friends. It can be uncomfortable to talk about. So for me, this is going to be a really important read. It's probably going to hit home a few times, but I'm ready for that. Sorry, that was a bit waffly for that one. I've taken it a bit deep. But speaking of deep anyway, the next book is Natives by Akala, and this is also about race and class in the ruins of empire. This is also British based, and the blurb says, from the first time he was stopped and searched as a child to the day he realised his mom was white, to his first encounters with racist teachers, race and class have shaped Akala's life and outlook. In Natives, he takes his own experiences with education, the police, identity and everything in between, and uses them to look at the social, historical and political factors that have left us where we are today. From what I said about British, this book is along the same lines as well. I'm really looking forward to learning more, reading these. This wasn't on my wish list, just randomly spotted it on one of the shelves. It just sounded a lot like a bit of me. I picked up Anita and Me by Meera Syal. I'll read the blurb. Like every 9-year-old girl, Meena can't wait to grow up and break free from her parents, but as the daughter of the only Punjabi family in the mining village of Tollington, her daily struggle for independence is different from most. She wants fish fingers and chips, not just chapati and dal. She wants an English Christmas, not the usual interminable Punjabi festivities. But more than anything, more than miniskirts and the freedom to watch opportunity knocks, Meena wants to roam the backyards of working-class Tollington with feisty Anita Rutter and her gang. Someone said, a marvellous crash course in Asian Brummy culture, funny, moving and packed full of wonderful surprises. So, I'm not a Brummie, I'm from the Black Country, but Birmingham is basically down the road and people often lump us together. So that made me want to pick it up even more, just the localness. Really excited to read this. The next book was technically for Liam, but I also know that I'm going to read it. So this is James O'Brien and it's called How Not to Be Wrong, The Art of Changing Your Mind. We both have read his previous book, which was How to Be Right in a World Gone Wrong. We haven't even looked in it really. It's not very big, it's going to be a quick read. Really looking forward to reading it. I know this won't be everyone's cup of tea. In this deeply personal book, James turns the mirror on himself to reveal what he has changed his mind about and why, and explore how examining and changing our own views is our new civic duty in a world of outrage, disagreement and echo chambers. He writes candidly about the stiff upper lip attitudes and toxic masculinity that coloured his childhood and the therapy and personal growth that have led him to question his assumptions and explore new perspectives. Laying open his personal views on everything from racial prejudice to emotional vulnerability, from fat shaming to tattoos, he then delves into the real reasons, often irrational or unconscious, he holds them. I like when people are able to acknowledge and outwardly say, these were my views at one point in time, these are now my current views. Would be nice if, as a whole, society was more understanding. We can't all be right all the time. We can't all agree all the time. We should allow each other the space to grow and develop and come to our own conclusions and realisations about things. So, very much looking forward to reading this. The next two, I'm very excited for this one. Picked up The Road Trip by Beth O'Leary. Beth O'Leary is one of those authors now that someone would be like, oh, Beth O'Leary's got a new book coming out. I'll be like, yeah, I'm there. You don't need to tell me the name, you don't need to tell me the plot, nothing. I don't know anything about this book. I just trust Beth O'Leary. If you haven't read The Flat Share or The Switch, I highly, highly recommend them. They are such heartwarming, fulfilling books with like a sprinkle of angst and just all the good stuff. They're quite wholesome books. I'm really looking forward to reading this. I managed to pick up a signed copy, which is cool. I'll read the blurb with you guys now. Addie and her sister are about to embark on an epic road trip to a friend's wedding in rural Scotland. The playlist is all planned and the snacks are packed, but not long after setting off, a car slams into the back of theirs. The driver is none other than Addie's ex, Dylan, who she's avoided since their traumatic breakup 2 years earlier. Dylan and his best mates are heading to the wedding too, and they've totaled their car, so Addie has no choice but to offer them a ride. The car is soon jam-packed full of luggage and secrets, and with 400 miles ahead of them, Dylan and Addie can't avoid confronting the very messy history of their relationship. Will they make it to the wedding on time? And more importantly, is this really the end of the road for Addie and Dylan? Ooh. I do like a little romance now and then, so I'm really looking forward to this. I was so on the fence about buying this book. That being said, I was getting major FOMO on Bookstagram, and when I saw this in the shop, I had to pick it up. I got Realmbreaker, even though I told myself I wasn't going to get it. I just didn't want to miss out. Sometimes you don't like one series by an author, but I know that you can like other work that they come out with, so I'm gonna give this book a chance. I did think these were sold out, so when I saw it, it was the last copy, and I thought, why not? The series I was referring to was the Red Queen series, which is here. This is one of those instances where I definitely should have looked at the series first and seen what the crack was. I just wasn't vibing with it, and to me, it clearly wasn't going to conclude what I felt was left unfinished in Warstorm. I am going to give this a go. I have to say the cover is gorgeous. Also, I did have a mooch at the map in the store, which was also a big selling point. Look at how gorgeous that map is. I'm a sucker for a fantasy book with a map, honestly. Show me where we're going, show me where I want to go, take me there. I'm not going to read the blurb. I kind of want to go in blind and just try and have no expectations so I can try and enjoy this book. If you read the Red Queen series as well, I'd love to know what you thought about that. That was my Waterstones haul. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments down below if you've read any of these already, or if they're also on your wish list based off of these books as well. If you do have any recommendations that you think I should check out, then please let me know. If this was your first video on my channel, I really appreciate you sticking around. If you'd like to get to know more about me, I did film a get to know me tag, so you can go and check that out if you want. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys again soon.